Let the medieval times begin.
Ever wonder what pain looks like when it's turned into performance? In medieval times, punishment wasn't about justice, it was about fear, pain, and turning your body into a message. Number 10. The stocks and pillory, public humiliation, but make it medieval. So you steal a loaf of bread or gossip about someone rich and angry. Boom! You're locked up in the town square, like a medieval billboard for bad decisions. Your head and hands go through the wooden frame, and that's it. You're stuck. Can't move, can't cover your face, can't stop what's coming. And what's coming? Rotten vegetables, mockery, spit. One guy brings a bucket. Don't ask what's in it. This wasn't punishment, it was performance art. It wasn't about pain, it was about turning you into content, a living meme. The townspeople got a whole day of entertainment. You got a sunburn and a new phobia. It was the original version of being cancelled, except instead of logging off, you had to sit there while the entire town hit reply all with tomatoes. Number 9. The Scold's Bridle. Silence is golden, or else. Medieval Europe had a solution for women who were too opinionated, too outspoken, or just happened to speak at all. A full metal muzzle. It was called the Scold's Bridle, a spiked iron cage for your head, complete with a metal plate that pinned your tongue down. Talking? Nope. Breathing normally? Also nope. They didn't strap this thing on in private either. You'd be paraded through town, like a walking PSA. This is what happens when you interrupt your husband. And no, it didn't break bones, it broke something worse. Your dignity. Because sometimes the worst punishments didn't scream, they whispered. Number 8. The rack. Stretch till you snitch. You know it's getting bad when the torture device looks like a DIY ladder. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This thing didn't build anything. It unbuilt people. Here's how it worked. You're tied down at both ends, like a medieval Stretch Armstrong. Then two guys, very serious, very legal, start turning the crank. Click by click. Your joints say goodbye to each other. The goal? A confession. Not the truth, just something that sounds good. Because if you say the wrong thing, crank. Say nothing, crank. Say the right thing, also crank just in case. Like a medieval lie detector that keeps going until your shoulders surrender. The lucky ones left with dislocated shoulders, the unlucky ones left in pieces. One woman, Anne Askew, got the full treatment for preaching to other women. She refused to name names, so they turned her into spaghetti. Then they carried her to the stake to be burned alive. So yeah, the rack wasn't built to kill you, it was built to break you. One bone, one secret, one lie at a time. Number 7. The Rat Dungeon. Eaten alive, one bite at a time. If you ever found yourself locked in the Tower of London, you'd probably hope for a quick death. Not this. The Rat Dungeon wasn't just a nickname, it was a sentence. Deep beneath the stone, past the damp and the rot, there was a cell built just below the riverline. That mattered because when the river swelled, guess who got evicted from their burrows? The rats. Hundreds of them. They'd scurry in through the cracks, cold, wet, starving, and find a prisoner shackled to the wall, alone in the dark. He wouldn't see them coming, just hear them. Tiny feet, claws on stone, then the first bite, then the second. He could scream, he could flail, but rats don't care. Eventually, he'd pass out. They'd keep going. Days later, if he was still alive, he'd wake up as a buffet. By the end of the medieval period, they weren't even pretending this was punishment. They just threw people in and let nature do the rest. You don't escape the rat dungeon, you dissolve into it. Number 6. The Iron Chair, barbecued alive from the inside out. At first glance, it looks just like a chair. Then you realise it's made entirely of metal and covered in spikes. Everywhere. The seat, the back, even the armrests. You don't sit on this thing, you're placed. slowly, painfully, and strapped in so tight even your panic is stuck. It's like being sentenced to the world's worst recliner, one that cooks you. Now here comes the fun part. They light a fire underneath it. Literally. The chair begins to heat. First it's warm, then it's sizzling. Then your skin starts bonding with the iron, like you're becoming part of the furniture. The spikes? Not even the worst part. The real torture was the anticipation. People confessed before the pain even started. Just the thought of it made them crack. Because when your torture device doubles as a medieval barbecue grill, your brain gives up before your body does. And we're only halfway through. Number 5. The breaking wheel, because one death just isn't enough. Imagine being tied to a giant wagon wheel, like some kind of human piñata. Except instead of candy, what's spilling out is your bones. They called it the breaking wheel, and it earned the name. One by one, your arms and legs were shattered with an iron bar. Bottom up, carefully, avoiding vital organs. Why? So you could really savour the experience. Then they'd weave your mangled body through the spokes of the wheel like some grotesque craft project and hoist you into the air, so the birds, bugs and villagers could enjoy the show. Some people lived for hours, a few lasted days, but everyone got the message. This wasn't punishment, this was medieval PR. The wheel didn't just kill you, it made an example out of you, loudly. Number 4. Trial by ordeal, when God was your defense attorney. So you're accused of a crime in medieval Europe, you say you're innocent, but instead of gathering evidence, the court says, let's see what God thinks. First up, ordeal by hot iron. You carry a glowing iron bar across the room, then your hands get wrapped up for a few days like a divine surprise package. If it heals, you're good. If it festers, straight to hell, buddy. Not spicy enough? Okay, how about ordeal by water? They tie you up and chuck you into a river. If you float, you're guilty, because the water rejects you. If you sink, you're innocent, and also probably dead. And then there's ordeal by fire. Walk across burning coals. If your feet don't roast like medieval marshmallows, congratulations, you're free. These weren't hidden away in secret chambers. Nope, they were public events. Priests watched, neighbours clapped. The whole town showed up like it was a holiday. The worst part, innocence had nothing to do with it. Your fate came down to heat, infection, buoyancy, and whether your judge believed in germs or miracles. Justice? No. This was divine roulette with 3rd-degree burns. Number 3. Hanging, drawing and quartering, the Crown's favourite overkill combo. When it comes to treason, medieval England didn't just kill you, it killed you in chapters. First, you were drawn, which sounds artsy, but actually meant being dragged behind a horse until you arrived looking like you'd already died once. Then they'd hang you, but just a little, just enough to nearly pass out. Then snip, they'd cut you down for the next course. That's when the executioner pulled out your intestines and grilled your guts in front of you. Romantic, right? And if that didn't drive the point home, they ripped out your heart and gave it a live demo to the cheering crowd. Finally, quartering. That's right, chopped into 4 pieces and sent on a royal tour around the kingdom. The head usually got VIP treatment on a spike above London Bridge. One unlucky recipient, William Wallace. Yep, that William Wallace. His crime, wanting Scotland to not be ruled by England. His punishment, everything. If there was ever a punishment designed to erase a person from history, it backfired. Spectacularly. Number 2. The Iron Maiden, death by hug. It looks like a statue, sometimes even dressed up to resemble the Virgin Mary. Very pious, very holy. But open the doors, and inside, spikes. Dozens of them. Thin, sharp, placed with care. Not to kill fast, but to make you feel every moment. You're not shoved in. That would be merciful. No, they ease you in. Then shut the doors like they're tucking you in for a long, bloody nap. The spikes avoid your heart, your lungs, your brain. The kill zones, they skip those on purpose. Instead, they go for the soft stuff. Just enough to keep you alive and screaming. And sure, maybe historians argue it wasn't used during the actual Middle Ages. Doesn't matter, it lives on anyway, in books, museums, metal album covers, and the worst corners of our imagination. That's the real horror. It didn't need to be real to terrify you. Just believable enough to make your skin crawl. Number 1. Impalement, the ultimate horror. At the top of the list lies a punishment so horrifying, so drawn out, it haunted entire populations. Impalement. This method involved forcing a sharpened wooden or metal stake through the victim's body, often through the rectum or abdomen, then raising the pole upright, letting the body slowly slide downward under its own weight. Death was not quick. In many cases, it took hours, sometimes days. The victim remained alive, fully conscious, bleeding internally, as the pole gradually pierced organs without immediately striking vital points. There were executioners skilled enough to avoid fatal injury for as long as possible, creating a terrifying balance between life and death. The purpose wasn't just to execute, it was to prolong the agony and put absolute dominance on display. The most infamous figure associated with this punishment? Vlad III of Wallachia, better known as Vlad the Impaler. He reportedly used it to punish enemies, criminals, even political rivals. They say Vlad lined the roads with bodies like they were warning signs, except no one made it out to read them. Impalement was the final level. It wasn't about justice, it was raw terror, crafted into a political tool. It crushed rebellion, it silenced dissent, and most of all, it stayed burned into memory. Because how can anyone forget something like that? And there you have it, 10 ways the medieval world said, behave or else. They didn't just punish people, they made a show of it. Tickets? Not required, just show up and try not to pass out. But here's what sticks. If these were the solutions, what kind of problems were they trying to solve? Justice? Maybe. Control? Probably. Entertainment? Absolutely. Drop your thoughts into the comments. Which one shocked you? Which one scarred you? And which one should never come back? Until next time, stay curious, stay human, and whatever you do, don't time travel.